This is the World Financial Report on radio with Harold Siegel. My name is Randy Marshall. Joining us via the telephone, our financial expert, Harold Siegel. We're taping the show at 8:40 in the morning, Mountain, 10:40 Eastern. Radio show runs AM 640 in Toronto, 630 CHED in Edmonton, QR77 in Calgary. In Calgary next week, we will be on the air from 6 until 7. Normally, we're on 5 until 6. Next week in Calgary, 6 until 7 p.m. If you ever miss a radio show, we are archived. Harold's website, HESradio.com, HESradio.com. You can be a part of the podcast as well, where it comes in on your iTunes. Never miss a radio show. AM 640, QR77, 630 CHED, HESradio.com. And the podcast as well. The companion to our radio show is our newsletter. This week, it is a must-read. We have outstanding information. If you want to know what's been happening in the hard asset markets over the last week, this is a must-read. We have auction results from the diamond world. If you'd like to receive our newsletter, speak with Worldwide, 1-866-623-2002. Also, speak with Harold at 1-800-432-1022. They'll be more than happy to send out our free weekly newsletter via email every week, absolutely free of charge. We saw a lot of volatility in the market this week with hard assets. A lot of it, and actually everything, was down at some point due to the Fed minutes coming out and them indicating that there would not be any more quantitative easing, or the market had really had the expectation that quantitative easing would come very soon. The Fed minutes did not indicate that. As a result, we saw stock markets pull back, hard assets pull back. But Harold, I think quantitative easing will be a must. In fact, somebody like Bill Gross, we'll talk about it later in the show. He said that if you do not have quantitative easing, the markets, the stock market in particular, is going to have a very, very difficult time going forward.
You better believe it, Rand. First of all, I want to wish everybody this weekend a very happy Easter and a very happy Passover. Both are coming out on the same weekend. That's why we're taping the show on Thursday. The markets are closed Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, so I wish everybody a very, very wonderful weekend. We certainly knew that 2012 was going to be a volatile year, being an election year, and it certainly hasn't disappointed us. The fact is the market has been extremely volatile. On Wednesday, as Randy just mentioned, the markets all fell fairly heavily. Gold was down $50. Silver was down, substantially also. And don't forget, this is a long weekend, and a lot of the traders are gone. So the volume in the market is very light, and a lot of times when these markets do fall like this, it's because of extremely light volume. And the other thing is, so you don't get overly concerned, is the fact that there's two different participants in the gold and silver markets. There's investors like ourselves that are buy and hold. We buy the physical metal, and we're longer-term holders of the metal. And then there's the short-term traders, the futures and options traders that trade these markets and the futures markets on a daily basis. That's what brings the volatility to the market. Nobody I know has sold their gold and silver. I certainly haven't sold any of mine. We're holding it physically. We own it outright. And again, these pullbacks in the markets are normal. We've seen them happen so many times over the last decade that we've been in this marketplace. But it's volatility that will bring the market to the levels that we need to see, going forward. So again, don't be overly concerned about this, because not very much damage was really done in the markets at all this week. In fact, as we're taping the show on Friday, gold is now up $10 on the day and is trading back up above that 1625 level. Now, as we discussed last week on the radio show, there was support in gold at 1625. When I say support, again, we're talking about technical trading in the futures markets. There's support on the downside, there's resistance on the upside. And basically, it basically means that when the market gets to, for example, the 16.25 level and it falls below it, the short-term traders will sell that market a little bit further, and that's what happened yesterday. However, the markets come back somewhat on Thursday. We're trading 920 higher. We're at 1630. Again, the next major level of support for gold is at 1580, and again, there wouldn't be any damage in the gold market if it hit 1580. And the fact is, it could very easily hit it because, again, this being an election year, the government would love to see the stock market rally and the gold and silver markets fall. And, they do participate in that. They can talk the markets down. Again, they're talking the market down during a long weekend when a lot of traders aren't available. Same thing happened in silver. Silver broke through support of $32. It fell down into the low 31 level. There's very heavy support in silver at $30 and at $28. And even if the market fell to $28, it wouldn't affect the market much on the downside. Again, the market right now is just trading within its range. We're still extremely bullish on gold and silver. There's no reason not to be. Nothing has changed except, again, we did point out several times this year and going into this year that it was going to be a crazy year, very volatile, a little bit confusing, and it's primarily because it's an election year. And the fact is that the closer we get to election time, you'll see these markets get even more and more volatile. However, when the markets do go down, you get the physical buyers coming in and buying up the bargain basement prices. It's really the futures traders that are in and out of the market, and that's what makes the market extremely volatile. So again, we've got heavy support at 1625. It did break that yesterday, but we're back above it today. The market could fall to 1580. It could fall to 1475, and it wouldn't hurt the market at all as far as a bullish market goes. As far as silver goes, there's heavy support at $32. We broke that on Wednesday. The market's trading right now at $31.86. So again, we're close to the $32 level, and basically it could fall to $30 and $28, and it wouldn't hurt it on the downside. The only people that get hurt when that type of things happen are the heavily leveraged traders that are in the futures market. The reason that we bought gold and silver 10 years ago is the same reason that we're buying it today. The fact is that due to financial situations and tremendous debt, we are experiencing, and we do feel that we will see in the near future, fabulous and fantastic inflation. Inflation like we have never, ever seen before. Back in 1979 and 80, we saw extreme inflation where we had inflation in the double digits, and it caused gold to go to $850, and it caused silver to go to $52. It also caused oil prices to skyrocket. That's what inflation does. It means that the cost of living is extremely high when most people's wages are not going up with inflation, and it just means that the cost of living, it's much more expensive to live. The cost of oil, filling your gas tank, heating your home, everything like that, and food prices. So that's why we recommended gold and silver back 10 years ago, and that's why we're still recommending it today. This is not a short-term situation. We've made an awful lot of money over the last 10 years. We first started buying gold when it was at $250, and it's now sitting at $1,600 and change. Who wouldn't like to be in a market like that? The same thing with silver. We started buying silver at $4, and it hit a high of $50. It's trading right now at about $31 to $32. Over the longer term, over the next 5 years, we do feel that gold will actually break through the 2,000 level. We still feel that is possible this year. Again, we do feel the markets will get extremely volatile going into the latter part of the year, and with certain situations happening, it's very feasible that the price of gold could break $2,000 this year, which is about $370 from where it is right now. We've seen those moves happen almost every single year since we've been in the market. We've seen these extreme moves on the upside and many times on the downside. And again, the only thing that has happened when the market has fallen back is that the market has come back and made new highs, and we do believe that is going to happen and could easily happen this year. We could still see silver come back and test that $50 level that we saw last year, and it would not be impossible to see silver break 50 and possibly go as high as $60 to $65. I know that's doubling the price of silver from where it is right now, but we have seen that in the past, and it has happened recently. So, again, we're extremely bullish on gold and silver. These pullbacks in the markets do not concern us because, again, the market's just trading within its range, and we understand why why that's happening. It's the short-term traders that are in the futures market that are in danger of getting wiped out because of this tremendous volatility. We would continue to hold gold and silver physically. We do believe that we will ultimately see gold break through not only $2,000, but could it be a $4,000 to $5,000 metal before this whole move is over. And we feel the same with silver. Silver could literally go to $100 to $200 before this whole move is over. The other market that we like very much that was also very volatile this week is the oil market. As we're trading right now, the oil market's back up over the $102 level. We have recently seen it as high as 110. And then we recently saw it down to 101 and change on Wednesday. However, this is not unusual in an election year because high oil prices will derail any type of recovery, and the U.S. government at this point, mostly President Obama, does not want to see that happen. He definitely wants to be reelected. He's got an excellent chance of being reelected, and he would like to see the market stabilize prior to the elections. However, after the elections, we see the markets doing exactly what they're supposed to do. We see high inflation coming. We see continued debt and sovereign debt situation in Europe, and we continue to see the United States in financial chaos. So nothing in the world has changed. In the United States, I'm a Canadian living in the U.S., the fact is the economy is terrible here. The only light at this particular point, and the only thing that they're bragging about, that they can brag about, is the fact that the stock market is sitting at around 13,000. However, the fact is that next year it's very feasible that the stock markets could do what they did in 2008, which is plummet in half. And again, we do see that happening. We're seeing signs of that happening at this particular point. We're seeing the insiders selling out of their stocks and promoting stocks so heavily that the general public will buy the stocks that they're selling. This normally will precede a market falling substantially. And again, with the U.S. owing $15 trillion, and all the problems in Europe and in China and in other parts of the world, there's just no way in the world that I do not see precious metals prices going higher. So the only thing that happens when these markets pull back is that the futures traders, have to deal with the volatility, and we get an opportunity to bargain hunt and buy gold and silver at cheaper prices. I'm still a major buyer of gold and silver. I've owned it for 10 years, and I have not sold any of my gold and silver, and don't intend to until we see the right time to do that. And obviously, we will stay on top of it and let you know exactly what to do. We're still extremely bullish on oil. Oil has pulled back this week. Again, a lot of it is to do with the elections. They do not want to see oil prices at the levels that they're at this particular point. They'd love to see it come down to $85 or $90. And even if oil did come down to $90, it would not hurt us in any way, shape, or form. The fact is that Iran has got sanctions against them, and that's taking their oil off the market. Saudi Arabia says that they can make up the difference, but every indication is that they can't. On top of that, Iraq is not doing well in oil, so basically we're talking about a tight squeeze in oil at a time when, again, we could see a full-fledged war in the Middle East. And if that does happen, watch for oil prices to go to $200 to $250, and if it's even more severe than that, you could literally see oil go to $300 to $400. That's how tight the oil market is at this point. So again, when the oil markets pull back, understand why that's happening. It's the government talking it down at this particular point because, again, they do not want to see high oil prices going into election time. If they wanted to see oil prices really come down, all they would have to do is reduce the taxes, but there's no way in the world that the governments are going to do that. They need the revenue too badly. So again, at this point, we're sitting right now right at about $1,630. We're up $12 right now in gold. We're up 42 cents in silver. We're almost back up to $32. But again, the volatility in the market will continue. It would not shock me to see silver go to $30 or $28. And if it does, I will be a major buyer of it at this point. I'm not the type of person that gets emotionally involved in these markets. Again, emotions really play no part in the decisions I make as far as investing money. Right now, it's more about capital. You want to keep your money, and that's the most important thing. You do not want to invest in very risky investments where you could lose your money at this point. So it's really that you want to hold on to your money at this point, and basically what we're recommending is that you own physical gold and silver we're going to talk about diamonds later on in the show, but diamonds are one of the best investments you could make and extremely safe at this point, and you do want to have money in the inflationary market of oil. Those are the areas that I feel will do best over the next 5 years. We know that the U.S. is going to keep interest rates extremely low. That's going to push the dollar down lower and lower, which will push gold and silver prices up substantially. Again, I'm still extremely bullish on gold and silver. Fundamentally, the market keeps getting better and better, but again, I know it's confusing when the markets pull back like they did this week. Understand it's an election year coming up, so this is going to continue to happen, and then on top of that, you've got a long weekend where there's very few traders around, and they do take advantage of that and bring down the markets when that's possible. But again, over the long term, we're extremely bullish on gold, silver, and diamonds and oil, and that's where I highly recommend you put your money at this particular time.
Mark Faber, famous for his doom, gloom, and boom report, he said this week, number one question investors should ask themselves is not, where can I make the most money, but rather, where can I avoid losing the most money? And he went on to say in a story, you can read it in our newsletter, he predicts massive wealth destruction through hyperinflation, social unrest, credit collapse, or a war. He was on CNBC. He spoke about it. He said, you must own gold. You must own gold. The people to speak to about starting your own precious metals investment account, the company that Harold recommends you use, the only company, Worldwide Precious Metals, their telephone number 1-866-623-2002, 1-866-623-2002, their website, wwpmc.com, wwpmc.com. This week's newsletter is a must-read. This show actually is a must-listen-to show. Stay with us the entire way today. We have some important information for you. The telephone number to invest in precious metals, 1-866-623-2002. The website, wwpmc.com. As I said off the top of the show, one of the things that got the market going this week, volatility-wise, the FOMC said in its minutes it saw no need for new monetary easing. The markets had been anticipating that would happen. That was in their March minutes. Bill Gross came out and said this week, and he's with PIMCO, he tweeted on the PIMCO account, central banks are where bad bonds go to die. Without QE, the financial markets and then the economy will falter. He told CNBC the Fed is trapped in a conundrum of providing cheap liquidity. And he said that the comments about further easing this week were much ado about nothing, or maybe much ado about a little, downplaying risks that the Fed will not embark on another round of quantitative easing. He believes it will happen. He says the Fed is trapped in this conundrum of providing cheap liquidity in order to prop up stock markets and risk markets. He says, I think they are adding, it's a necessary policy based on where central banks have led us. And he's going on to say in this article, you can read it in our newsletter, that there will be more quantitative easing. A person that we keep an eye on is Peter Schiff. And Peter Schiff, he spoke to King World News, Eric King, and he actually had some very interesting things to say. You can read it in our newsletter. He said, reacting to the Fed minutes, he said, quantitative easing 3 is coming. People are assuming that QE is off the table based on these minutes. They're wrong. He says, I don't see why gold would be getting crushed based on these minutes. I looked at these minutes, and yes, the Fed didn't come right out and say QE3 is coming. They are not going to do that. They are never going to do that. Somebody is going to have to buy all of these bonds, and if the Fed is not going to do it, who will? Right now, the Fed is doing QE. Whether they want to officially call it QE, they are doing it. They are doing Operation Twist and buying government bonds. They know that complicates what they're trying to do. The Fed is trying to stimulate the economy with inflation without letting people know there is inflation. It would complicate this charade if they were to telegraph their intentions, because that would make prices rise even faster. So they don't want to come out right out and say it, but they leave the door wide open. They basically say if the economy needs it, we will do more QE, but right now we don't think it needs it. Well, okay, they don't think it needs it now. This phony recovery the Fed has engineered with cheap money cannot survive without continuous doses of cheap money. If the Fed denies the economy QE3, it's going to roll over and die. Then it's going to have to resuscitate with more QE, more money printing. You can look at the minutes and say, there is no more cheap money, sell gold. There is, he says, basically there's going to be a lot more cheap money, and so you should be buying gold. Ultimately, we're going to see a big drop in the dollar and a big rise in the price of gold. The Fed has to buy government bonds to keep interest rates from skyrocketing. As they stop, rates are going to go up, and when they obviously do, it's going to choke off the recovery, which is dependent on low rates. So you can take the Fed at its word, or you're going to have basically a disaster like Europe. He says, I think it's going to be more suffering if they don't do QE. He says you could see riots like in Greece, and we'll have things in the United States, down in the United States, that you're seeing over in Greece if the economy rolls over, if there's no more QE. And Harold, we personally believe, and by the way, we have about 2 minutes left in this segment, we personally believe there will be more quantitative easing. I agree with Bill Gross. I agree with Peter Schiff that the U.S. economy is hooked on it. As you mentioned, they're in an election year. And obviously, the Republicans would love to see things go bad, and I'm sure Obama would like things to do well or at least be stable. And that's where the Fed is at, trying to keep things stable. But I suspect, as we saw with the stock market this week, rolling over with the fact that there would be no QE, or at least that was their belief, that they will be forced to do it at some point.
I believe it too. Again, I just think at this point here that there's not enough money. Again, you're talking almost $1 trillion. You know, it's funny, when I read Mark Faber's report, then you read the blogs underneath it. Somebody wrote, you know, Mark Faber wakes up at 8 o'clock, has breakfast at 9, predicts the end of the world by 10, goes to bed at 8, and wakes up again the next day. It was hysterical. But he puts out a great article, and again, a lot of the things that he's saying I certainly agree with. So all in all, everything is set. Again, we expected volatility. That's what we have, but it's all going to work in our favor.
The telephone number to invest in precious metals, 1-866-623-2002. 1-866-623-2002. There's only one company that Harold recommends you use when it comes to investing in gold, silver, platinum, palladium. That's Worldwide Precious Metals. Their telephone number is 1-866-623-2002. The website, www.pmc.com. If you would like to learn the ins and outs of investing in precious metals, give them a chance to earn your business. When we started doing the show, and they were starting out in business over 10 years ago, obviously there was not a lot of competition in the marketplace for people to invest in gold. Now there is, but give them a chance to earn your business, because they're the specialists in this very specialized market. They've been through all the ups and downs. They're the experts in this specialized field, the people that you should be using when it comes to precious metals. Start your own precious metals investment account today. Speak with Worldwide, www.pmc.com, 1-866-623-2002, and get our free weekly newsletter from them. We're going to come back and talk about diamonds. The diamond section of our radio show and newsletter this week, one of the best we have ever had. You want to hang on for that. As the World Financial Report on radio with Harold Siegel and me, Randy Marshall, continues right after this. Welcome back to the World Financial Report on radio with Harold Siegel. My name is Randy Marshall. Joining us via the telephone, our financial expert, Harold Siegel. We're taping the show on Thursday, April the 5th, 2012. Normally we tape on Friday, but due to Good Friday and the Easter long weekend, we are taping on Thursday, and enjoy the long weekend. The telephone number to invest in precious metals, 1-866-623-2002. The website, www.pmc.com. If you'd like to receive our free weekly newsletter, the companion to our radio show, all you need to do is speak with Worldwide about receiving our free weekly newsletter. It's a must-read this week. We have tons of information. When I was putting it all together, I thought, it's going to be a short week. There probably won't be a lot. To be honest with you, it was a week where we had more information than we've ever had. So it's something you can go through in 10, 15 minutes if you want, or you can spend hours. It's up to you. But get your name on the list and read it over weekly to keep yourself educated and updated as to what's happening in the markets to not only profit but protect the money that you have. The diamond section of the newsletter is definitely a must-read. Harold's website for diamonds is rarecoloreddiamonds.com, rarecoloreddiamonds.com. The telephone number 1-800-432-1022. And Harold has hsfineauctions.com. The next auction is April the 10th, Tuesday, April the 10th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Mountain. And we will talk about that. Our featured diamond of the week. This week's diamond is a 1.52 carat cushion cut fancy intense yellow internally flawless diamond. And you can see this diamond in our newsletter online on Harold's website. And get the diamond section of the newsletter from Harold. There was an auction, Sotheby's Hong Kong jewelry sale. And yellow diamonds, Harold, as you know, sold, and they sold off the charts. People can see the auction results in the newsletter. To give you an example, there was a fancy yellow diamond ring. This was a 15.92 carat ring mounted on 18 carat yellow gold. The estimate on it was $193 to $321,000. It went for $651,677 US dollars. That's right, double what the high estimate was. Not even mentioning the low estimate. And the other auction results we have featuring yellow diamonds were equally spectacular. Harold, it's a very exciting time to be investing in diamonds. And I can tell you that here in Edmonton, we had a little dose of a pink diamond due to Burke's. And we'll talk about that a little later. But Burke's bringing to town a pink diamond. And all we can say is congratulations for bringing this diamond to Edmonton, because we've been talking about this for 7 years. Your website, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, features these kind of diamonds every day. We talk every week about diamonds. It's nice to see other people bringing interest to colored diamonds, investing in colored diamonds. It's a very positive thing.
You bet. I've never been more excited about an investment than I have been in the diamond market. You know, I've been in the investment business for over 35 years, and I'll tell you, I've been through the inflationary markets of the 70s and 80s. I've seen what happened with gold and silver back in 79 and 80, and most people know what happened with gold and silver because they trade on exchanges. Gold went, all the way from $35 in 1972 all the way to $850, and silver went from $1.25 all the way up to $52. What most people don't know, that when high inflation comes, we know the gold and silver take off, but rare-colored diamonds went up 500% in those 2 years also. The thing about rare-colored diamonds, they don't trade on exchanges, so they don't go up and down like commodities and stocks do. In fact, rare-colored diamonds like the ones that we offer to our clients have never, ever declined in value because there's so few of them available. And because the mines have been producing these diamonds for many, many years, many of the mines are coming to an end. They're just not producing anymore, and it doesn't make sense to keep them open, so there's less and less of these diamonds available. We specialize in yellow flawless diamonds and argyle pink diamonds. Those are the two best diamonds to invest in because they're reasonable in price still. You don't have to spend millions of dollars to invest in diamonds. Basically, you can get involved for around $15,000 all the way up to $35 million. So we have some of the rarest diamonds in the world, but the diamonds that we recommend are the ones that are still affordable. In fact, those go up by far the most of any other diamonds. So when you look at a yellow flawless diamond, either a fancy yellow, a fancy intense yellow, or a fancy vivid yellow, and they have to be internally flawless, they double every 4 years in price. They go up by 25% just under normal market conditions. So many of my clients buy yellow flawless diamonds because they can rely on them and they're safe and they never go down in value. We obviously can't say the same thing about retirement savings plans and stocks. Those are very volatile, and most people that put their money away in retirement savings plans in the stock market or mutual funds will not retire with that money. The fact is that we saw what happened in 1999 when the stock markets plummeted, mostly the dot-com companies, and then we saw it again in 2008 when the stock markets dropped in half. Those things never happen in the diamond market. So A yellow flawless diamond that you can buy today for $20,000 in 5 years from now can be a $100,000 diamond just with the inflation that's coming. We anticipate that these diamonds will increase by 400 to 500% over the next 5 years. That's because of inflation. If there was no inflation and the markets just did their things normally, these diamonds in 10 years would go from $20,000 to $100,000. We've seen it in the past, and it will happen again. In fact, these diamonds go up by 25% every year. We deliver these diamonds directly to you. You own them outright. They come in a beautiful display box made especially for our diamonds. Then most people put them in their safety deposit boxes and just hold on to them. And then we will sell the diamond for you when the time is right on our auction site, which is hsfineauctions.com. In fact, on this Tuesday, April the 10th, coming up, we have our 5th auction coming up, and they've been extremely successful. I built hsfineauctions.com for my clients to resell their high-end collectibles. And on this particular auction that's coming up, it's going to be one of the best we've ever had because we've got some of the most amazing items coming up for sale. We'll talk about that in a couple seconds. I talked about yellow flawless diamonds, fancy yellow, fancy intense, and fancy vivid. They never decline in price. They double every 4 years. They go up by 25% a year. During times of high inflation, they can go up 400 to 500% in the 2 years that we saw in 79 and 80. They're also portable private wealth. God forbid we ever needed to start all over again. A diamond can fit in your pocket and nobody would know that you have it. Whereas $10,000 in cash, you can't cross a border with because the governments don't allow that. But a diamond, you could have a $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 diamond, and you can walk across a border and nobody would even know about it. The thing is that the Europeans call it real estate in your pocket. One of the most important assets you could ever own, especially during the times that we're in right now, is a rare colored diamond because they're portable private wealth. They can be sold in another currency. They never ever fall in price, and they have a proven track record. The other diamonds that we want to recommend to you are pink diamonds from the Argyle mine. These are the most sought-after diamonds in the world at this point because the company that owns the Argyle mine, which is Rio Tinto, has announced that they are going to close that mine prior to 2018. It's just not producing enough diamonds to keep in business. Now, they produce white diamonds and brown diamonds, and they're most known for their magnificent pink diamonds. The Argyle mine is famous for their Argyle pinks. And when this mine closes, either in 2016 or 2018, which is only a few years from now, these diamonds can increase 400 to 500% just because there will not be any more of these diamonds available. So while you can still get them, they're on our website. If you go to rarecoloreddiamonds.com, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, go to the loose diamond section, you can see our display of yellow flawless and pink Argyle diamonds. They're amongst the most beautiful diamonds in the world, the best investments you can make. They're not volatile. They never, ever go down in value, and soon you're not going to be able to get them anymore. That's why we've been saying for the last 7 years to buy these magnificent diamonds and put them away for your future. In fact, these assets are so safe that I've given them to my children growing up and my young grandchildren now. My 2 young grandchildren that are 8 and 5 have yellow flawless diamonds put aside in their safety deposit box for their future. On top of that, I've got another grandchild coming in, and she will have one also. They're just fabulous investments, and again, extremely important. And with the sovereign debt situation in Europe and the problems in the United States, and now with what's happening in China and potential war in the Middle East, it's probably the most important investment that you'll ever make, and it's extremely safe. This coming week, on Tuesday, April the 10th at 8 o'clock Eastern Time and at 6 o'clock Mountain Time, we're going to have our 5th auction. So if you go to HS, my initials, hsfineauctions.com, this weekend, first of all, if you go to the catalog section, you can view what we are offering on this week's auction. And it is spectacular. We have some of the most amazing items coming up for bid because what we do is we offer our auction business for our clients only to resell their very high-end collectibles and their diamonds. So basically, I built this, and it took 2 years to build with a phenomenal company out of Canada called Relentless Technologies. They built all of my websites for me, and these young, brilliant guys have just built the most amazing auction website that we took 2 years to build, and it is state-of-the-art. And basically, I built it for my clients who bought gold and silver pieces and emeralds, rubies, and sapphires, and mostly their diamonds, to resell their high-end collectibles. So basically, if you go to hsfineauctions.com and look at the catalog, you're going to see what we're going to be offering on Tuesday, April the 10th. We're going to offer a beautiful coin called the Prophet of Peace. It's the Pope coin, and it's basically a very beautiful religious silver coin. We've got the 2003 Mini Outback Collection, which is a gold, silver, and platinum coin set, which is just spectacular and very, very minimum. Very few of these have been produced. These are very amazing sets that do nothing but go up in value, especially with gold and silver. We've got the Wildlife Series Proof set. We've got the 2004 Year of the Monkey 1-ounce typeset collection, which is sensational. But the pièce de resistance, in my opinion, the top coin set that's going to be sold this week, there's two of them. One of them is the 2004 Year of the Monkey 5-coin set. In this 5-coin set is a kilo silver coin, 32.15 ounces of pure silver. There's also a 10-ounce silver coin, a 2-ounce, a 1 ounce, and a half an ounce in a magnificent display case. This is a set that you'll never ever see. It's totally sold out. It's one of my own personal sets, and the reason that I'm selling it is to bring attention to the auction site. So again, where I don't want to sell my gold and silver sets at this point, the fact is it's more important to draw attention to our auction website, which we're just kicking off, and it's getting worldwide attention. We will have people attend the auction from all over the world this week, next week, and we will have in excess over 600 people registered to attend our auction. The other coin set that's going to be sold off that is spectacular is the Australian Koala 2003 Proof Issue 5-coin set. This is a 5-coin platinum set that is so beautiful and so rare, you'll never see another set like it. In the diamond section, we have a very rare 85-point radiant cut, which is a square-cut diamond, fancy, vivid, yellow, internally flawless diamond. One of the rarest diamonds you can get are fancy, vivid yellow, and to get one that's internally flawless is almost impossible. In fact, last year at Christie's in New York, they sold a 2.5-carat vivid yellow VVS1 diamond. It was supposed to sell for $110,000. It sold for $960,000. So we've got an 85-point radiant cut, fancy, vivid yellow, internally flawless diamond. That diamond's worth in the range of about $40,000. It'll probably sell, because again, we're just getting started, kicking off the business. It'll probably sell in the $25,000, $30,000 range. We have a 31-point round. Fancy, brilliant rounds are the rarest shapes. Fancy purplish pink argyle. One of the highlights of the auction is going to be a near flawless princess cut fancy intense orangey pink diamond from my private collection. One of the rarest diamonds you will ever see. Most of us that own Argyle pinks know that Argyle and GIA will mostly grade the diamonds on their color, but this diamond was graded on its clarity in color and is one of the top diamonds in the world. It's a 31-point princess cut, which is one of the rarest cuts, fancy intense orangey pink VVS1 near flawless diamond. It's worth in the range of about $50,000. It's one of the top diamonds that we're auctioning off. We've got a 35-point emerald cut, very rare, fancy intense purplish pink argyle. We have got one of the rarest vivid pink argyle diamonds coming up for sale. It's a 36-point radiant cut, which is a very popular cut, square cut, fancy vivid purplish pink argyle. You can see the video of it on our auction site, hsfineauctions.com. And then one of the rarest diamonds you will ever see in your lifetime is a 45-point heart shape, fancy deep pink argyle diamond. Very, very seldom will the Gemological Institute of America ever grade diamond deep, but this is in between intense and vivid. The color will literally take your breath away, and we've got a video of it on the auction site. It's one of the rarest diamonds you'll ever see. To own a heart-shaped diamond is extremely rare on its own. To get one that's a fancy deep pink argyle, it's a diamond that eventually, in my opinion, this diamond will probably sell in the 50,000 range. It will be worth, in the next 10 years, 5 times that amount. We anticipate that these diamonds will continue to increase substantially. So you definitely want to attend the auction on Tuesday, the 10th of April. It's at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. It's at 6 o'clock Mountain Time. If you go this weekend, you can look at the catalog. You can view everything, see the GI reports and everything, and you can register. Either register to watch it or register to participate. Again, we anticipate a lot of bidders from all over the world, and we're just kicking off this site. This is our 5th website, our 5th auction. I just started to promote it worldwide, and we've had people from all over the world show interest in attending our auction. I know there will be people from India, China, Japan. We've had people sign up from all over Europe and Australia. So it's going to be an amazing auction. You definitely want to participate. There's going to be some great deals and some of the best diamonds you could ever get. Go to hsfineauctions.com this weekend, look at our catalog, sign up for it, and either participate or watch it for the first time. But it's a real-time auction website. Nobody has ever had anything like this before. It's not like an eBay where you just arbitrarily go on and place a bid. This is live. I'm selling every single piece, and at 8 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Mountain, the site becomes alive. All of a sudden, we start auctioning off these amazing pieces, and it gets very, very exciting. And again, I want you all to participate because I built this for our clients only. Clients of rare colored diamonds, and all of my companies, I built this for you to sell your high-end collectibles down the road, and we've had tremendous success. We sold Oprah Winfrey's pink diamond necklace 2 or 3 auctions ago, and it sold for a record price. In fact, it's written up all over the Internet that HS Fine Auctions sold this amazing piece. So, again, if you are investing in rare colored diamonds or in other pieces, please look at our business. We've been in business for 35 years. I know there's many companies out there that try to copy what we do, but they'll never be able to sell your high-end collectibles for you. That's why we built HS Fine Auctions, and it's for our clients to resell their beautiful pieces. So again, look at the featured diamond this week. It's a beautiful yellow flawless diamond. Again, one of the best investments you can make. Go to rarecoloreddiamonds.com. Look at our display of pink and yellow flawless diamonds. We've got blue diamonds, green diamonds, red diamonds, all the major diamonds in the world, and we don't put up all of our diamonds. I've got diamonds put away that are beyond rare, diamonds that nobody has seen in 10 or 15 years that are put away for protection, and they do nothing but go up in value. Randy, I got to tell you, we brought rare colored diamonds and collectibles to our clients 7, 8 years ago. I've never, ever been more excited about what the industry is saying about the rare colored diamond market. And again, our clients are doing extremely well, but the next 5 years, we should look to make a fortune in the rare colored diamond market.
Well, it even gets better. I found this story, and your son Jonathan sent it to me as well from CNBC. Get it from Harold. Get the newsletter from Harold. Speak with him at rarecoloreddiamonds.com or 1-800-432-1022, 1-800-432-1022, or rarecoloreddiamonds.com. But the story is diamonds are a great way to diversify. Diamonds are an attractive option for investors looking to diversify portfolios because they don't move in relation with other assets such as commodities and stocks, according to David Riddell, president of equity research firm Riddell Research Group. Over the past decade, cross-asset correlations have nearly doubled, but diamonds have exhibited very low correlations to other assets, making them an attractive source of diversification. They have almost no correlation to anything else, commodities, gold, equity markets, he told CNBC. In 2011, the RapNet Diamond Index for 1-carat polished diamonds rose 19%, outpacing gold, which rose 10%. And supply constraints are expected to take diamond prices even higher in the years to come, according to Riddell. He estimates demand for diamonds will grow 50% between now and 2015, driven by consumption in the United States, China, and India, while production will rise only about 24%. Sotheby's, and we have the auction results for colored diamonds in our newsletter. He mentions here their magnificent jewel sale in Hong Kong this week. And he goes on to mention there was an 8-carat blue diamond ring that sold for $12.7 million, the second highest price per carat for a blue diamond at auction. And he says when choosing between a diamond ring and loose diamonds as an investment, he says both work and retain value. That is an article you must read. Get it from Harold in our newsletter. The telephone number, 1-800-432-1022, and rarecoloreddiamonds.com. But I would encourage people here, and we have about 5 minutes left in our show, Harold, but I would encourage people to read the auction results from Sotheby's, especially in relation to your featured diamond of the week. If you're wondering about yellow diamonds, look at the auction results. They are spectacular.
I'm so excited, Randy. I truly am. And again, I'm just looking at Kitco's front page, and there's our banner for live online auctions. It's just absolutely beautiful. Again, I'm so pleased and so proud of what we've built for our clients. And again, the next 5 to 10 years are just going to be sensational for us. I've never been more excited about the rare colored diamond market as I am right now. And again, we're the player in the market. We have all the pink Argyle diamonds. I've invested a fortune in that, and we cut almost all of the yellow flawless diamonds, which is a very small number. There may be 100 to 110 yellow flawless diamonds for the entire world, and most of those are mine, and they go to my Canadian clients, and we have tucked away privately, and when the time comes, we will sell them on our auction site, hsfineauctions.com. Again, I've never been more excited than I am right now. We've got the auction coming up, and we've got the most beautiful diamonds you've ever seen.
Go to Harold's website, hsfineauctions.com. Next auction, Tuesday, April 10th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Mountain. In our newsletter, we have a list of the items online. There are the items. Take a look at the featured diamond Harold has, that 1.52-carat cushion-cut, fancy, intense, yellow, internally flawless diamond. rarecoloreddiamonds.com. Speak with Harold about diamonds, 1-800-432-1022. This is 1 week you want to get the newsletter from Harold. Get on the list, because the diamond information we have simply off the charts. The radio show runs on AM 640 in Toronto, 630 CHED Edmonton, QR 77 in Calgary. Calgary next week. Normally we're on 5 to 6. We'll be on from 6 until 7 next week. Keep that in mind. In our newsletter this week, we have our charts of the week, quotes and quick hits, information on diamonds, Harold's auction site, gold, silver, quantitative easing 3, the sovereign debt crisis, U.S. debt and deficit, and the real estate market. And one thing I wanted to touch on, one thing that hasn't been talked a lot about here, with about 3 minutes left in the show, Harold, is the situation between Iran and Israel. And that is a huge, huge concern that's still out there. But the sovereign debt crisis is not over. In fact, in Spain, their Prime Minister, Mariano Rajoy, said this week, Spain is facing an economic situation of extreme difficulty. I repeat, of extreme difficulty. And anyone who doesn't understand this is fooling themselves. In fact, an impossible 57% of Spain's budget is devoted to pensions, unemployment benefits, and interest. And to give you an idea, and we have this chart in our newsletter, the unemployment situation in Europe for European youth, these are people under 25 years old. I was talking to a friend about it last night. He was just dumbfounded. He could not believe it. Spain, 50% youth unemployment. Greece, 50%. Portugal, 35%. Italy, 31%. Ireland, 31%. The UK, 23%. France, 21%. And Germany, 8%. In our newsletter as well, we have a story, ranks of the working poor in Europe. There's a story about a couple who live in France. They actually have jobs. They are minimum wage jobs. They live at a campsite because they are part of the working poor. This is something that, Harold, with about a minute left in the show, this is why you need that insurance policy in your portfolio of precious metals. What's going on around the world, we're in unprecedented times. It's important to have hard assets.
Oh, you better believe it. It's terrible to hear those type of stories, but it is happening all over the world. And again, after the elections, it could definitely happen in the United States. So again, it's time to be very, very cautious. to not to speculate, to have all your ducks in a row, to have your physical gold and silver, to have your diamonds put away. Let's get ready for the next 5 years. Again, 90% of the money is made by 10% of the people. All Randy and I care about is our listeners to our radio show, our Canadian clients, being in that 10%. We've been doing the show for a decade. We've done extremely well, but the next 5 to 10 years, we anticipate doing even better.
Thank you very much, Harold Siegel. Have a fantastic long weekend.
Well, thank you very much. I wish everybody a wonderful weekend and a very profitable day.
So don't forget, next week in Calgary, we're on 6 to 7 o'clock, normally 5 to 6. If you miss a radio show, we're archived on Harold's website, hesradio.com, hesradio.com. You can sign up for the podcast there as well. hsfineauctions.com. Their auction on April the 10th, Tuesday, 8 Eastern, 6 p.m. Mountain. RareColoredDiamonds.com, 1-800-432-1022. And to invest in precious metals, the only company Harold recommends worldwide precious metals, 1-866-623-2002, 1-866-623-2002. Their website, www.pmc.com. That's it. Another edition of the World Financial Report on radio with Harold Siegel and me, Randy Marshall. We will talk to you next week.